This one was the easiest choice for me, and I'm gonna give you guys a minute to guess. I'll give you 1, 2, 3. It's Dark and Stormy. Like, okay, KI. Don't even get me started, right? Yo, what is up, guys? It is Lost Groove back with another video. Once again, another commentary video for today. Today I wanted to talk about the top 7 spells I wish were actually viable in PvP. Now, if you guys did not know, I kind of personally have a few picks, that I kind of wish that were more viable in PvP, because I, have seen what kind of decks people run, what kind of things people run. I know what spells are extremely excluded from people's deck. I know people don't use. So I wanted to take 7 of these, 1 from each school, and rate all of them, and just, I wish how, like that they were cool ideas and wish that they were used more often, because unfortunately there's a lot of schools who deal with spells that are just completely useless, don't have good utility, don't have good options with them, and I just overall think that a few of them should honestly get buffed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that right now, guys. But you guys do the video. So you guys already know my first is Fire, and honestly, Fire has a lot of decent spells. I mean, look, if you look through their catalog, they have a lot of solid spells. Obviously, it doesn't stack up as well as it used to. Of course, they used to have a lot more viable spells whenever enchants were still around, but almost every single spell for them is pretty much usable, except for these random AoEs like Rain of Fire and Scald and stuff like that, which are in its own thing. If I really had to choose, I would honestly choose Rain of Fire. I think this spell desperately needs a rework. I understand it's probably gonna stay in AoE, but this spell, man, it's so bad. And it's such a cool spell too. If you guys don't know what the animation looks like, it's literally a bunch of like the water, water something, dudes from Pirate 101. They go around, and the same is from Celestia too. And they go around this volcano, and you can see this big ass rain of fire, and it's like, dude, why is this not actually a PvP spell? I think it would be so cool if it was a kind of like an Ashen Bones type thing. You know what I mean? Because Ashen Bones is great and all. But I wish there was a massive damage over time spell similar to Ashen Bones. And honestly, since it's an AoE, I guess I could put another answer that would kind of tie with it. Naphtha Scarab, bro. I really wish Naphtha Scarab, okay, I give up. Naphtha Scarab was actually good, you know what I mean? Because this spell got reworked from Fire Beetle, and honestly, it's a huge letdown, man. It's not great. I think it should hit and give a 25 trap, me personally. Would that be that good in comparison to Elf? Not really. But at least something that would make it a little bit more efficient, because right now, nobody uses it. There's really no point. It doesn't really set up for anything. The only thing it really sets up for, I guess, would be Jhin. But, I mean, at that point, you might as well, just use Jhin's Reversal as your trap counter and make that your Jhin setup. So, I don't know. Overall, that's my personal opinion on it, and let's head into the next spells. This one was a really tough decision for me, guys. This one was really tough, because Death has a lot of disappointing spells. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Death, is in the same boat. They have two or three big disappointing spells that could be huge and could make a big impact on their category of spells. And honestly, the one for me is Winged Sorrow. Listen, I know you're thinking, Grim Reader. There's always that in the game. I think Winged Sorrow should just get a rework, because let's be real. Put these spells next to each other. There's no point either of them, being the way they are. I really think that Winged Sorrow needs looked at. I think Death having another cool, utility, solo hit. For example, I kind of wish this did, consistently more damage without the weakness or something, or with a utility that was more unique from Grim Reader, because, nobody's going to use this utility over Grim Reader, let's be real. So in my opinion, I really feel like Winged Sorrow should kind of be buffed. I feel like that they should give Winged Sorrow, a little bit more of an edge. I feel like they should buff it a little bit, because look at this, 768 compared to 800. This doesn't really make sense to me, I'm not gonna lie. What's the utility you're sacrificing? Sure, you get a plague, but why is it a plague all? It doesn't make any sense. So I just kind of wish, and since shadows are so important in this meta, I really do wish Winged Sorrow would get a look at. And again, an honorable mention for this would honestly have to be King Art. Death King Art is just so garbage. It needs a rework so bad. And I feel like Death really got shafted with this spell, I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully they'll look at King Art and maybe change it. But overall, those are my 2 picks for Death, and let's head on. Yo, I just wanted to stop the video real quick to make sure that you are subscribed to the Lost Groove channel. I upload almost every single day, and I try to stay as active as I can on my YouTube. So I'd appreciate if you guys dropped a sub, because only this amount of people are actually subscribed to my channel. So real quick, before this intermission ends, I'd appreciate if you guys would drop a sub real quick. Anyway, back to the video. Now this one was the easiest choice for me, and I'm gonna give you guys a minute to guess. I'll give you 1, 2, 3. It's Dark and Stormy. Like, okay, KI. Don't even get me started, right? It's literally the exact same problem as Winged Sorrow. You know what I mean? Like, why are they giving it a team-based, you know, why give Storm a healing team-based buff? What? Like, what? Why does it seem like all of the AoE spells in this game, guys, always seem like they'd be great on the single hit spells? A great example of this is Snack Attack. Why does Snack Attack, you know, have to be on an AoE when it's such like a particular spell for a PvP moment? You know what I mean? It's the same deal with Dark and Stormy. Why is this useless utility on a spell like this? Like, you have to understand that if you're subjugating parts of a hit, when there's already a big single hit like Rusalka, right? You better be giving me something like, you know, bang for my buck. You better be giving me, I don't know, an aura, or like, I don't know, maybe, you know, a bubble. I don't know, something. Like, it doesn't even have to be a bubble. That'd be OP. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, something damage-based. Even could be like a guaranteed blade, or like a double blade, or something interesting. Maybe even a 20% pierce blade, for God's sake. Just something to encourage me to use this spell over Rusalka. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's not a thing. Dark and Stormy is one of the coolest spells to ever come to Wiz, and it sucks. And it's a shame, because there's a lot of spells that get mixed up in these AoEs where they make these AoEs that have these great, you know, PvP 1v1 scenario utilities, but they make them for AoE, so there's no point in using them when you can't even enchant them. So it's dumb. And I think Rusalka and Dark and Stormy are black and white examples of these. So, you know, I really do wish these two cards would get reworked, because we've been begging for it for like months, years for Winged Sorrow and months for Dark and Stormy. You know, I feel like some of these new Lemuria spells really need looked at. So that's just my opinion. Let's head on. Okay, first of all, listen, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush with this one. First of all, why is this spell not a fire spell? Isn't this a more fire spell than it is a myth spell? It doesn't make sense. I don't know why this is not a fire spell. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It doesn't really make any sense to me. But regardless, we're just gonna ignore that and just say that I kind of wish Basilisk was a more, you know, good spell. I feel like I haven't seen people use Basilisk like much at all. Because if you're gonna use a stun, you might as well, you know, go for a Medusa combo, and Basilisk kind of drains your pips. So that's exactly why I think this spell, removing the stun, would be a great replacement for Rain of Fire. Because let's be real, nobody uses Rain of Fire. You might as well just make it a single hit at that point, in my opinion. So I think that they should buff Basilisk, or literally just like rework it, and then make, you know, this spell basically be the same as Rain of Fire. I've been saying this for a while. I don't know why these spells are on, you know, the respective schools. I feel like Basilisk should definitely be on fire, considering they're, you know, a hit, you know, and considering, you know, they're the DOT school. But literally, why does this school have more, you know, single hit DOTs than even like fire does? It makes no sense. So, you know, just to point out that like inconsistency, I don't know what they're doing with Basilisk, and why does the damage even work like that? Why is it 320 to 750? That just doesn't make any sense. So overall, this doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like they need to fix this damage and then give it to fire and remove the stun, and then we're golden. I don't know why that hasn't been done yet. I feel like that's a perfect opportunity to give fire an interesting spell to use with their detonate strategies and stuff. Again, I know there's Ashen Bones and all that, but make it a real card. You don't need to keep it a TC. I feel like Ashen Bones is cool and all, but like, it should be an actual card. I don't know why that's not a thing. So overall, let's go to the next school. Alright, y'all, I've been questing my balance if you guys didn't know. Level 130, almost level 150, so expect some balance content soon. I apologize to all the balance haters out there. You know, love you, man, but I had to do what I had to do. Regardless, though, I have a spell I want to talk about that I do not have unlocked on this character quite yet. As you guys know, I absolutely hate balance. I think they have the most overloaded kit in the entire game. I think almost all of their spells are viable. I think they're ridiculously overpowered, but that's besides the point. I genuinely think the one spell that should not have been treated so badly was easily Old One's endgame. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that they were supposed to have another AoE. I get it. And I get the AoE is not going to be usable. But at least make it good in PvE. Why is it so bad in PvP and PvE? Like, what do you ever need that prism thing, or that prism blade thing for, if you guys know what I'm talking about? I saw that, and I was like, dude, chess and Wiz, that's actually the sickest, like, crossover. And they make it that. Like, what? I don't know about you guys, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like Old One's Endgame, for how amazing of an animation it is such a disappointing card. And I really do hope that KI looks at it, as well as Dark and Stormy, and as well as many other of the Lemuria spells, and actually considers, you know, the one, like, how it should actually hold up to current spells in the game, especially as shads are as important as they are right now. So that's my choice for balance, and let's head on to the next one. Now this one, I don't know if you guys might expect this one, but here we go. I really think Snow Pig and Thieving Dragon both desperately need a rework. Don't get me wrong, Ice already has a ridiculous amount of shield play, but why are these two spells so bad? Like, why are they so bad, dude? Thieving Dragon should not be doing 120 damage. Like, just wand it, dude. Why is it 4 pips? We already established now that Steel Shield is 1 pip, and why is it literally doing like 1.5 damage per pip if the Steel Ward is worth 1? It just makes no sense. I feel like if we're looking at Snowman, for example, the Thieving Dragon should at least be doing 200 to 240, in my opinion. That should be the damage range, and it should at least be more viable. But right now, it really sucks as a finisher, especially with that Iceberg TC spell, that 4-pip Blue Phoenix thing. What is even the point of using a spell like Thieving Dragon? I really do think it needs a rework. I think it needs looked at, and as well as Angry Snow Pig, there's literally no viability for that spell right now, especially now with Evil Snowman. Both the spells really are just so useless and really need looked at, in my opinion. There's a few other ones, like I kind of wish Woolly Mammoth was a little bit more viable. I kind of wish they would make it, you know, swap with like Snow Angel or something. I don't know, something cool like that. Because honestly, it's kind of meat, dude. I'm not gonna lie. But overall, if I had to choose my, you know, tie, I would say between Thieving Dragon and Angry Snow Pig, which I do not have right now in my spellbook because it sucks. But yeah, on to the next one, and actually the last one. You already know. I had to log on the Zarathax character, but this is my Life Wizard level 6, and I'm gonna show what spell I think genuinely needs a rework. I have a really interesting rework idea for one of the lore spells for Life, right? So you guys know Savage Paw. It's one of the strongest, lore spells for balance. It works pretty well, and it's a pretty consistent spell. A lot of balances use it, a lot of offensive balances use it. It's a situational spell that I think is super interesting. Is especially cool if you go for a Shrike play. Now, you guys know Goat Monk, right? Imagine if they made it so Goat Monk was a 5-pip spell that gave you like a 20% heal blade and a 20% life blade, right? Of course, you might think, okay, that's a little bit OP. But think about it, man. I feel like Life should have some sort of offensive leverage as well as a defensive leverage at the same time. This would be such an interesting spell to use. You know what I mean? Because I feel like being able to use a TC version of it and then being able to use a main deck version of it, you'd be able to stack these different heal blades and stuff, and then be able to cover them, and then be able to basically heal and buff yourself at the same time, which I honestly think is such a cool idea for Life. Kind of like how, there's a few hits where, it can kind of, drain and create a bunch of leverage for death. Why can't you hit and buff yourself as a Life, and also give yourself a chance to heal as well? I think it would also... Life just desperately needs a new spell they can put in their spellbook at this point, man. Looking at an average Life spellbook, dude, like at max PvP, it is the most sad, desperate thing I've ever looked at. And I low-key need to see, some more like diversity in Life's deck. So honestly, if I were to pick apart any single school that needs the most spell reworks out of all of this, I would honestly say Life. It's crazy how good Life's stats are, but yet they never have any good spells and never have any good options. But overall, that's my opinion. I think that's the spell that really needs rework the most. Hope you guys agreed with this video. There's a few different spells I really do think needs looked at. I hope they bring back the spell audit from the other year, because there still is some spells that actually need looked at that in the spellbook still don't make sense. I really do hope down the road, KI, you guys end up looking at more spells. It's not super hard to make audits, and you could always do community feedback for them. But overall, this is my personal opinion. Credit to my homie Peanut Butter, aka Bird. I'm not even going to pronounce that, but he just tells me to call him Peanut Butter. So appreciate him for giving me the idea for this video. It's a great idea, and I had a lot of fun filming it because there's a lot of spells that I think still I kind of want to see come to the spell audit at least sometime during the summer or next year, because Obviously, if you're gonna have a spell out, it's gonna shake up the meta. It's gonna change up the meta. So I'd love to see how that affects the game. Overall, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.